Hello to everyone, and welcome to another episode here of Azure User Group Sweden. So my name is Håkan Silvernagel, and I will be the host here for today's. So we are waiting also on Jonah, so hopefully she will be able to connect to the stream during our stream here. So the topic here for today, so October is the Security Awareness Month. So so therefore we have chosen some security related sessions here for you in this month. So today we're going to have a session called How to Forensic Investigate Security Incident in Microsoft Azure. But before we start with that, I will just give some background information here about our user group. So we have a code of conduct here. So it's important here that it needs to be nice and friendly. We should listen with purpose and be thoughtful. We should be respectful to others and seek to understand, not criticize. And we should also be curious and open to share ideas. And we should be inclusive in our comments and questions. And you can see our code of conduct here on the GitHub link on this slide here. And if you want to keep in touch and keep updated on our events, you should join our meetup community. So you can just scan this QR code and just join the meetup, and you will be notified on our next sessions. And we also have our CFP, so we're always looking out for new speakers. And it doesn't matter if you're an already established speaker or maybe you have never spoken before. If you're a new speaker, we will be able to mentor you and help you both with content and the practical details of having a session. And we will also, after this session, we will invite you for a Fika session, which is a Zoom call. So we'll post the link to that Zoom call during the session at the end of our session here. So now we can see here, I think we can welcome Jonah.
Yes. Hi, Håkan. Good morning, everyone, or good noon. I'm sorry I'm late. I had technical difficulties backstage, virtual backstage. So I'm glad I got my cam and mic working. Welcome, everyone, and happy weekend. I saw that you just did the code of conduct, Håkan. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I have a bit of a throat infection, but I'm pretty good.
Yes, I can relate. I've had a dry cough for like almost a month now, and I know how it feels to just like do your best to share to the community, and we do it for our community and tech friends that are following us in community. So that's great. Yes, yeah. So, is there anything else we need to bring before we bring in our guest
Mm,
today?
no, I think we can just bring in our guest here, and then, as I said,
Should we
we will.
introduce him? You
Oh yeah,
think?
we can do an introduction here
Proper
of ourselves.
introduction. Yes,
Yes.
let's do that.
Yes, so I'm very happy to introduce Jonah Anderson. She's the founder here of our user group, and she is an Azure MVP and also a Microsoft certified trainer, and she is an international speaker and a podcast host, and she's also a proponent for inclusivity in the world of tech. And she's also
Yes.
written a book, Learning Microsoft Azure for O'Reilly.
Thank you, Håkan. Yes, we usually introduce ourselves, especially to those that are like just joining us first time in our community. So thank you for Håkan for the introduction. So I'm Jonah Anderson. I'm from Sweden, founder of Azure User Group Sweden. I am very active in the community, inspiring about what I do. I work as a senior Azure consultant at Solidify. And my co-leader here, Håkan, is also an AI architect specialist working at Styria. I hope I got the correct name of your new employer, Håkan. And he is also very active, like me, in the community as the co-leader of Azure User Group Sweden. He is a public speaker, and Microsoft MVP for AI, MCT, and leaders of communities in Norway, such as AI42 and the .NET community in Norway as well. So it's a very great tandem and sync we have in this community. But that's great. I can't wait to introduce our speaker, who is very special in a way that he's also part of the community. He's also an MVP, MCT, a speaker, and he's been wanting to speak in our user group. And finally, we gave him the spot on this stage. And thank you so much for him for such patience, because we do have a lot of queue of sessions in our community. But Håkan, do you want to have the honor to introduce him on stage today?
Yes, let's add here Uros Pavic. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Hakan. And I'm very proud to be part of this session and proud to be part of actually Azure Sweden user group. And I'm looking forward to new challenge on this group and actually to start today with very, very great, I think, topics that is cloud forensic in Microsoft Azure. And yes, thank you for your introduction. I will short introduce myself. I am also Microsoft Security MVP and the Microsoft Certified Trainer, very experienced. And I'm also blogger and public a lot of posts in LinkedIn. And we are actually in day-to-day conversation, communication regarding how to share the best practice and knowledge and everything. And I think this session is actually a great place to explain everything about cloud forensic investigation in Microsoft Azure, because applied principle methodology of digital forensic with the cloud environment and how we investigate security incident. We have a lot of sophisticated attack in the very zero-day operation, and we must aware on this topic with the point of view incident response, vulnerability management, and etc.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I myself is very interested in this session, especially that even in any day-to-day IT project, we have security plays a vital role in everything we do in all of the application development process. So I'm excited for this. But Oris, do you want to, like we did introduce yourself? That's great. So we will skip the introduction properly so that we usually do. But do you want to share to our audience where are you joining us from? Which country are you representing right
Yes. My country is Serbia. I come
now?
from Belgrade. I am situated here, but I'm part of Great Crayon Serbia team.
Okay.
I'm actually solution architect, security team lead, and I'm involved also in many project as a security guy with my team on domestic and international level. It is very, very interesting, and my part is actually security operation with XDR, Sentinel, Security Copilot, and during this session I will demonstrate part of this because the central part of our discussion is how artificial intelligence help us in security day-to-day operation, and manually work is actually automatic disruption of security incident and everything that is advantage of then manually work with the SOC team and unify security operation is actually advantage because that is save your time and work faster with the SOC team, especially security analyst and incident responder in day-to-day operation. And that is crucial when we deal with the incident investigation, trend hunting operation, and everything with the field of cybersecurity.
All right. Interesting already. It seems like you already gave us the the thriller of the things that you're gonna discuss. That's awesome. But to our audience, feel free to leave chat our questions or comments, and then Oros will be answering the questions. Do you prefer to have your questions asked on the go, or do you prefer to, like, we save it for the end of the session?
I think that is better to be at the end of
Okay.
session. If you have some interesting question, you can during this session interrupt me and discuss about some specific
Right.
topics.
Great. So yeah, ask your questions, everybody, and yeah, Oros, it's your stage now. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and we can start with the very great topic: how we to be proactive in cloud forensic investigation in Microsoft Azure, and I will show you agenda for this session today. The first is how we describe introduction of and actually define cloud forensic. What is cloud forensic challenge? I will explain cyber kill change. I will start with some indicator of compromise with the point of view known bets, and we will discuss about visibility and hunting across the attack chain, because we have a lot of advanced persistent threat tooling, how we to protect from this part in day-to-day operation with the point of view incident investigation and everything. And my plan is to describe the process of some investigation, like I have some virtual machine in Microsoft Azure, and I have suspicious activity, and maybe is my resource in the cloud compromise, and what is actually the steps. I will explain during the Azure portal, and I will explain also how we deal that with using Azure command line interface. Yes. And of course, we are using in day-to-day operation a lot of other Azure on Office 365 incident response and forensic tool. For forensic purpose, I have some experience with because in day-to-day operation, I work with the client with some and try to help if we have some similar situation like security incident. But our idea to be more proactive with the point of view using modern Microsoft technology like Defender XDR, like Microsoft Sentinel, in combination with Security Copilot. And that is actually a unified security operation. And this approach save time and work faster. You don't have opportunity to switch between many tools and many integration. One board for your playbook, for your workbook, for your trend hunting operation and everything. That is how we work, and with of course with the point of view security investigation. The second part is actually how Security Copilot help us in day-to-day operation with the point of view forensic investigation. What is the crucial? Crucial is artificial intelligence, user behavior analytic, and automatic description. In containment phase, I have option to with the point of view definitely using of this. I like to say a trio fantastico. This tool to resolve incident in automatic way. But okay, you have option to, when you click of incident, to manually resolve incident. Maybe is some false positive, maybe is malicious activity, or maybe some security testing, because I conducted many attack simulation to help me to be more proactive, to be resilient in my work. And I will show you this topic. It's very interesting because the first part is a standard topic, how we conduct some forensic investigation in Azure with the virtual machine acquisition in Microsoft Azure. The second part is actually how we work in Defender XDR and in Sentinel in Security Copilot. And in the last of my session today, I give you and share with you knowledge about security recommendation, how we will be more and more proactive in Microsoft Azure with the point of view device, how to protect our device, how to protect our identity and access management with Enter ID identity protection, with using conditional access policy, for example, using multi-factor authentication and everything, passwordless technology, because that is the reason in some situation when hacker using some tools and conducting password spray attack or brute force attack, weak password is a big problem, and how we protect from password leak and lot of legacy protocol we have conducting in many day-to-day operation when conducting some security assessment, many and reveal many legacy protocol like SMB, like NTLM, like TLS 1.1 or .2, and that is interesting because we actually in the market we have a lot of legacy application with all the framework, and how we protect from this part, it is crucial because that is a very, very good place when you have some vulnerability or open port to give a chance for attacker to actually you have impact in that way. Okay, that is the standard introduction of cloud forensic. That is actually division also of network forensic, but involves, of course, management of public and private networks. We are using a lot of software as a service and platform as a service application. Service model provide with the rest control over process of some network monitoring and data collection procedure in this part, when we're talking about software as a service application, is actually reliant on the cloud service provider, but we have a lot of different virtual machine instances can be acquired from the customer for evidence analysis. And the last part is, of course, physical access of the data, because we have actually a lot of dark data in the cloud, and if you decide with your compliance team what is critical, you must protect it, this part. And the Microsoft Preview solution actually help you in that way. I am using different DLP policy. I am using insider risk policy, communication policy. I am using compliance manager to resolve the risk of using many different standards with the point of view. We discussed about as a part of forensic starting with the point of view 27,000 family of ISO standard. But actually, when we discussed about cloud forensic challenge, the first is actually investigation. Investigation, the point of view, how we resolve incident. Maybe that is a part of cybercrime and policy violation with the public environment, and we have some suspicious activity in the cloud environment, and we define some investigation process with the point of view incident response investigation, preparation phase, detection phase, and incident response with the point of view containment, incident eradication, and post-mortem activity. But that is including some manually forensic work. In preparation phase, we are using a lot of forensic toolkit in that way, and we must learn a lot of this operation and deal with, for example, CERT team or SOC team in order to better analyze this result of what is actually revealed. In troubleshooting way, Cloud forensic techniques assist a lot of users and me and my team in troubleshooting by determining what is actually data and host that is physically or virtually present in cloud environment. And I find some resolve any errors of security issues, for example, in the cloud, and help me the better understanding to trend on the past security attack and how to handle incident in the future. That is very important. Lessons learned from the incident and etc. Log monitoring, we are using actually in day-to-day operation a lot of security event management tool. Sentinel is cloud-based tool for incident investigation in real time, and that is actually determine some logs for investigation physically, virtually present in the cloud environment. They allows cybersecurity analysts, for example, to find and to provide some audit, analyze and calculate various aspects in the cloud environment and help you checking what is compliance or not compliance with regulatory standard, and that is actually part of log monitoring. And we have actually different. I mentioned data and system recovery, but cloud security, actually cloud forensic deal with security aspect of organization, how to secure critical data, how to maintain necessary records for audit purpose, and how you can notify a concerned team for suspicious activity. That is a central with the point of view reporting. If you have some private data have been issues on expose, and actually help us to find the better way in section that miss some regulatory compliance and how to fix them. And finally, we have due diligence and regulatory compliance part that is actually also security aspect of many organizations, how we secure critical data and everything in that point of view. System recovery, I mentioned before, I am forensic expert. I can use copy of evidence in the court of law. I can create some forensic copy of data can be used by service provider as a backup and everything. That is actually we have 5 pillar of cloud forensic challenge, and after that we must found a way to deeply understand phase of cyber kill chains, because you have series of steps that trace of stages of different cyber attack. And I'm using, for example, in reconnaissance space, a lot of reconnaissance tool, but attacker try to access your own network and service in order to detect some possible target and technique to gain entry. Maybe your public IP address. Maybe you are not actually protect with your network security groups. And what is main idea to using some technique in Defender for Cloud with the point of view just-in-time access. I can use, for example, my work and connect via port RDP or SSH, but I am using in strict time. For example, tomorrow I am security admin and I am using my account to access via port Windows RDP via 338 and I'm using for that only for 3 hours. That is very good. That is an example of this restriction. We were talking about of this actually session about that, but in intrusion phase, attacker using knowledge gain in reconnaissance. That is very important to get access a part of your network. that is often involves some exploring the flow and security hole and everything. But in exploitation phase, you have chance to exploiting some vulnerability. If you're using some legacy port like SMB, that is old, oh my God, about 13 years. And a lot of legacy protocol, that is part we have actually in 2018 external blue vulnerability, but if you are using vulnerability and exploit for that, and after that you have privilege on network and everything. But legacy protocol is very dangerous, and we must find a way. For example, I'm using a group policy object, and I create some registry GPO, and then propose and link for all my computer objects in order to protect of this part of attack. The next steps is actually a privilege escalation. Privilege escalation is very often to gain some administrative access to compromised systems, and of course to gain access for more critical data and move into the connected system. The next is lateral movement. When I have privileged account, I have conducted lateral movement. For example, I can jump from Exchange server to give more information, but I can go with the persistence from Active Directory. That is very important, and we must be aware how is the settings our tier 0. In that way, the next phase is data exfiltration with combination of some ransomware activity. Of course, that is a standard process, but in anti-forensic, that is very interesting to successfully pull off of cyber attack. Attacker needs to cover their entry, and they will often compromise data and clear audit logs or try to prevent detection by the security team. And that is the crucial how we protect of this activity. We must know, with the point of view digital forensic, obfuscation techniques and anti-forensic technique to find the best way how to protect of that. And with a lot of denial of service phase involves some disruption of on normal access for the users, and DDoS attack is very often how to be monitoring, how to be tracked, how to be blocked, and everything. And finally, we have exfiltration, that is finally extraction stage in order to getting some valuable data out of the compromised system. And the security center is designed around kill chain and connected with the MITRE ATT&CK framework. And that is very important when we're talking about forensic investigation, actually to know this part. And finally, we have a lot of hunting cycle, that because that is starting with the hunting for indicator of compromise or no beds, ranging from, for example, smallest unit of indicator to behavior indicator that may be defined some actor. And in incident response investigation, that is very important to explain, that is very manageable when you start with some initial indicator of compromise trigger, and you can take some additional finding and be aware with trend hunting tool and methodology. But one example is data staking environment until we can determine that several machines across in the same, for example, environment have been confirmed that is some indicator of compromise trigger. And that is crucial. And with the point of view compromise identity, we have two parts. That is part of compromised system with some suspicious activity, with some suspicious event, and we have suspicious file with forensic way to find how to analyze this file. In the second part, we have a lot of in daily operation compromise application. We must find the way in forensic way how to investigate some suspicious activity and of course suspicious artifact in that way. And finally, we have hunting through attack chain, and that is actually of part Microsoft security recommendation and everything, and a lot of family of Defender tool help us in that way. Standard process, I'm a user, maybe I'm click of phishing mail without lots of awareness of training in that way, or click of some URL and open attachment. That is actually start with installation or exploitation, and attacker try to communicate domain controller in order to impersonate user impersonation with the lateral movement and actually redirecting some command and control server. User account is compromised, but we have some brute force account or user stolen account credential. Attacker attempts some lateral movement, I explained before, but when we have privileged account compromise, attacker maybe access some sensitive data in data exfiltration and potential ransomware activity. And you can see on this diagram, it is very clearly explained what is a part of Defender for Office 365. Defender for Office 365 is the part is inbuilt in Defender extended detection and response, and he allows tracking and hunting through mail, through different attachment, different URL. And we have actually Defender for endpoint, how to correlate attacker activity to endpoint activity, the point of view, how analyzes the process, how to analyze the registry, or file event. You can use sysmon. You can use different file integrity monitoring is very, very important. That is also now part for Microsoft Defender for endpoint, that is previously part and now is also in Defender for Cloud. But with the point of view identity, we have some multiple sensors to connect with our domain infrastructure or server infrastructure, and the central question how to detect attack against for on-premise infrastructure, and we are using for that purpose Defender for identity to analyze this. And finally, how to protect a lot of application in the cloud, software as a service in the cloud. For example, I'm using Success Factor in the cloud, but I have a lot of HR data on premise, and how to connect my sensitive data. Maybe the idea before connect from on-premise infrastructure, how to protect this data and how to encrypt this data, and user behavior analytics and cloud discovery data enhance the hunting activity and everything in order to find the best way. Cloud app security in Defender, that is also part of cloud access security broker to help us in that way. The second is how to strike a right balance between crowd forensic challenge in order to find maximum visibility. We are using a lot of threat hunting tool and methodology in order to investigate proprietary incident response tooling for Windows and Linux, forensic triage tool for device of many interest, Microsoft Active Directory, or actually Enter ID security configuration assessment. You can using Sentinel, for example, for central source of event logging, using machine learning and artificial intelligence with playbook, workbook, a lot of analytic rules, and that is connected from different data sources Actually, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, I mentioned before, that is actually uses machine learning and artificial intelligence to quickly respond to trends while working side by side on third-party, some antivirus part, but you can see a lot of different forensic technique for deep scan, for targeting exploitation. You can use ASIP of live scanner for proprietary and endpoint scanner ident propose, but you're using also for global telemetry of data, many intelligence security graph, sensor network that is a very, very important part. You can see on this slide with what we are using for continuous monitoring in Microsoft Defender for XDR, but Office 365 protection, how to protect our mail with the point of view spoofing. It is very, very important to settings your actually demarc the key and SPF parameter in impersonation phase and content analysis. But we are dealing, for example, with Microsoft Defender for Identity is very important in reconnaissance files to stop many lateral movements and domain dominance. And actually, we are using a lot of different tooling for advanced hunting, alerting, and correlation across different data sources in the cloud. The next steps is actually tool, how we explain. I can use, for example, a SEP tool for initial threat detection tool. I can rule on targeted device or server infrastructure. I can use Microsoft Defender for Endpoint to much more effective when working with Defender, with remediation, with the current configuration. Microsoft Defender for Identity I mentioned before, but that is very important to protect us for some different attack, like pass the hash, golden, silver ticket, skeleton key, and many, many more. Sentinel using machine learning and artificial intelligence and sent many alerts in real-time protection. How we limit it for modern operation system for full event information, but I can use for deep dive information on interesting computers some forensic extractor tool. Fox is very popular. Active Directory forensic investigation provides high level of Active Directory configuration assessment and provide from no long data correlation against Entra ID or Office 365. For Linux investigation and forensic examination, we can use different tools. In initial threat detection of tool of Linux system, I can run of target device, I can run on support operation system and everything. The first part of this session today is how we're using actually in day-to-day operation with the point of view virtual machine acquisition on Microsoft Azure Cloud Platform. And we have standard steps. I can turn off my virtual machine. I create a snapshot of operation system disk in some potential suspicious activity or potentially compromised virtual machine via Azure portal, but I can use also command line interface. I will explain later. I can copy snapshot on storage my account. I previously defined some storage account. I have some resource group that can be stored for forensic analysis that is totally different security group. I'm using, for example, security group for that purpose. I can show you now here, and I have some, I can zoom my screen in order to better visibility. Yes, I have some Ubuntu virtual machine with the resource group, and when I click on this resource group, I have a lot of resources. I have a snapshot disk SSH key because that is a Linux machine, network interface, but I have disk here. My machine is off and after that, when I click here in configuration, I can create snapshot in very easy way. In my production, I define some name, for example, for my investigation. And I previously defined region. Snapshot type can be or the type what is determined from pricing and functionality incremental. You can save the storage cost by making some partial copy of this based of difference between last snapshot, or you can use full snapshot in order to make complete read-only copy of selecting disk. And I previously defined my source with the disk, my subscription, security type, generation of my virtual machine. You can see a lot of different data. I can use standard disk from my zone redundant storage, and with the point of view encryption, I can use by default because I am not create any key vault in Azure. That is by default platform management key, of course. With the point of view networking, okay, I can disable public address, but I'm using different techniques like network security groups and everything, private links or bastion in order to or just-in-time access in order to find a better way how to protect this part. With point of view data access authentication mode, I can allow access with Azure Active Directory authentication for snapshot. I can option for upload or export. I can define some tag, but I can very easily way to create snapshot here for my forensic investigation. Deployment is progress, but I can come back here. What is my idea? I create here in my case the first group for production environment and the different security group. That is very important to understand. You must have different security group for your digital forensic investigation. And under of the previous production group, I have some virtual machine that is expectation to be suspicious activity to maybe compromise. And I'm forensic investigator. I can take some snapshot for my operations system disk of suspected virtual machine for my Ubuntu for further investigation. And that is actually the first steps is to stop virtual machine. The second steps, I can click my disk and create snapshot. When I create snapshot, I will show you now the second part, how we investigate through PowerShell. That is also interesting, not only using the graphical user interface, because virtual machine acquisition on Azure Cloud Platform include the steps. I create the first snapshot, and I previously explained in my demo, but I am using command, for example, show my resource group, production group with my name and some query. And I define and I create also in this way snapshot in command line interface. The second part is to copy snapshot to predefined storage account under different resource group. I can generate a share access signature. I can run a snapshot grant access command to gain some specific access rights to snapshot with the command is generated on SAS token with read-only access rights to snapshot for 60 minutes, and I can use Windows PowerShell with my administrator privilege. I previously created resource group with production environment with my snapshot name, but I can define duration in seconds. That is actually 3600. Access level is read, and my share access signature token with the URI is generated. The next steps is actually what I previously explained in introduction. I copy my snapshot on the storage account under the different resource group and create a storage account. That is very easy. I'm using as Azure storage account to create command in storage account with my necessary feature. I defined storage version. I defined some SKU with the standard local redundant storage, for example. And after that, I can use the copy of my snapshot. And in order to create file share with storage account, you can also create file share in graphical user interface, what is suitable for you. But you need to obtain some account key that is key feature here for the storage account to create some file share in order to execute with this command. And once the key is obtained, I can create some file share with the Azure storage share command with require parameter. And the file share is created. Now I have a copy of my screenshot file share. That is finally I can use my copy of snapshot to the file share, but executing some storage file copy start command with required parameters such, for example, I can use URI or access previously created share access signature generated from accessing the snapshot. I can define destination file path with the snapshot name with some DD extension for my forensic purpose, and of course I can use storage account name and account key in that way. What is the next step? I can delete snapshot from the source resource group and create backup copy. That is very important part because you generated SAC token from the storage account with some resource with required parameter, and now you can create blob container for that purpose by using a token for enhancing security. And it is totally recommended to create backup copy of your operation system snapshot by affecting virtual machine and remove some source store resource group from security resource. And that is very easy to create backup copy for snapshot in the blob container as a page blob. The next steps is mount your snapshot from some forensic workstation. I can open my file explorer, I can select my PC in computer option and map some drive, and after that I can use storage account name that is actually username and storage key in the password. I can use, I define a file share location for my mounting on the network location, and in double clicking in mounting file share to use some DD file, and finally I have here this snapshot.dd file here for my forensic investigation. If you are using now, I can use different forensic tool for that way. That is example with autopsy, but you can use in case you can use FTP imager. In that purpose, once the file share is contained in this snapshot, is properly mounted on your forensic workstation, you can conduct forensic examination of the contents of the operation system disk on affected virtual machine with the different tools. What is the summary of this part? I created snapshot for my virtual machine. I can use different option in Azure portal or command line interface. That is your totally decision, but in some case it is suitable for you to use command line interface. Created storage account under my security group. I created file share in my storage account, copy my operation system, this snapshot with the name in file share. So I am prepared for mounting in any forensic workstation. That is important. And once the snapshot has been copied, I'm prepared to delete from the production group, from the better security, and I'm also created blob container and storing the operation system, this snapshot in a page blob with some name. I'm using virtual hard disk, and I mounted the file name from on-premise infrastructure for Windows Workstation, and I can finalize the analysis that with some specific forensic tool. But company must guarantee that is very interesting topic for discussion with cloud forensic challenge, because chain of custody is very important through the evidence when we're talking about collection and acquisition, and preservation and access process. And digital evidence storage must demonstrate some access control, integrity of data. That is very important. You can use different tools to save your integrity of data, data protection, monitoring and alerting and everything. But you have a lot of questions I have shared with many conferences where you're talking about on this topic. Do you know where your data is start with? That is on-premise, maybe off-premise, and actually where is your data is located? Is distributed from multiple data center, or you have some data center across international boundary? That is very important. Does the law is a certain country jurisdiction prevent you from the capturing certain type of data? Some detail with user activity records, from instance. That is very important. You have working relationship with your cloud computing version. You have service legal agreement or other contract to eliminate some, but with some rights, with responsibility for your data collection and maintenance between customer and provider. That is crucial. Are you authorized to collect another customer data from multi-cloud environment? What is your forensic tool suitable for virtual environment? What is your level of cooperation is necessary to be part of provider? That is very, very important question in forensic investigation in the cloud, but answer is actually vary from vendor to vendor. You have in traditional environment, for example, to collect forensic data collection, this performed for some contained environment with a single owner. Collection processes in many situations challenging. In traditional environment, care must be taken to ensure data is not be modified, and technique, some like forensic image are used to reduce possibility to capturing data that is not affected while copies actually are made. And you're using many tools, but in using in traditional environment, that means that not always feasible or some useful, depending on your cloud service and deal actually with the cloud provider. You can use actually different forensic requirement, because ISO standard is actually developed as a set of global digital forensic standard. For example, I don't know, maybe 27, but actually 13.7, that is a guide for collecting, identify, and preserving electric evidence. But you can using 41, that is guide for incident investigation, or 42 for digital evidence analysis. You can use standard for incident investigation from, for example, e-discovery or principal process for different technique. But that is very important to taking into account because many companies must guarantee of digital evidence they provide in response to legal requirements in valid of chain of custody. The second part of my presentation is actually how we use Copilot, how we use Defender in day-to-day incident investigation. I can use Copilot from summarizing incident, providing response for script analysis, for natural language, or my custom query language. I can analyze this file, I can conduct incident report, and I can define some device summary with Copilot. But you can see incident contain many others. In order to be summarized, I have a lot of indicator of component. That is very heavy for my manual work, and I can use Copilot in that way. What is my idea? To share some knowledge regarding this part. I can go now in security-microsoft.com, and in my home page, and you can see now that is actually my Defender XDR portal. And when I click here in investigation part, because yes, that is a unified experience with the next level of security operations center efficiency, with one portal for my hunting, for my triage, for my investigation, from respond better with the Sentinel in Defender portal. You can see Microsoft Sentinel is via workspace integrated with Defender XDR. How we see that, I can go in settings, and I can go in Microsoft Sentinel, and when I click on Microsoft Sentinel, you can see this my logo analytic, that is a central place to collect for your security and operation logs, connect with my subscription and resource group here with XDR. And I'm using a predefined connector for that purpose of Sentinel, that is XDR connector, that is also prerequisite, and with the point of view integration, that is very easy to integrate with Defender. And when I click from some incident, you can see in dashboard incident name, incident ID, tag, severity, investigation state, and many different categories here. And I give you some example. I can use this 101 incident. It is very interesting for forensic investigation. And when I see here, I can open attack story. Attack story with the incident graph, that is a part of Microsoft Sentinel. But you can see now also many recommendation, many classification. I can see my users, I can see my IP address, but I can see a lot of different file. For example, 25. I can view this file, and in forensic way to continue with the incident investigation. The third part is Copilot. Copilot with your incident summary that is automatically generated high severity information about the incident, what we are doing in initial phase discovery. I have some potential credential access involving Mimikatz tool. And with the point of view lateral movement, I can see activity by CryptoLocker here, and I can continue with conducting my investigation. Virus Total is also integrated, but I have seen malware is detected, I have seen file path, and I can see object from data with actually point of view and integrity of file. I can open a CryptoLocker page, and using Copilot from generated file analysis here, that is very easy to understand. And when I click, for example, now for Copilot security, I have different prompt. I'm currently using here in my usage monitoring free security compute unit. That is standard, Microsoft standard for the serious investigation. And you can see now my session here. And when I go in prompt library, that is very interesting. I can use different prompt contains one or more prompt in seconds automatically. I can use, for example, Microsoft Sentinel incident investigation, but the subject of my investigation is some suspicious script analysis. I can generate it, report with prompts, different prompts here, but I previously have some session in that way, and I can go in search session, for example, script, and I can see some script analysis here to conduct some investigation. And when I click here, that is very important. I can import some malicious script here. I imported before, but following script was found as a part of some potential security incident, and that is very, very good how Security Copilot explain us with the point of view security protocol, attempt to convert some load file, how we decrypt context using some key, how to execute this decrypt content with the PowerShell command in forensic way. And I provide reputation for any IP address here. Investigation show me I reveal some domain malicious IP address and URL who is included in investigation. A lot of different domain when I generated this script. And very important part is recommendation for responding to the script execution. What I'm doing in order to isolate affected system to the network, forensic analysis. I can review network traffic with the point of view education and security awareness. A lot of, and in summary, I have all information regarding this incident. That is definitely save your time. If you don't have some specified forensic analyst in your team in correlation and work closely with your security analyst. But you can see here a lot of different options how to reveal. And when I go back in my previous incident, and when I click incident part, for example, I have some recommendation, automatically generated incident report, but also important for me, some different information in containment phase. Okay, you must isolate your device from rest of the network. You can see now, isolate device. And when I click here for isolate device, I have option for manually isolated my domain machine here. And but you can use generated context may be incorrect. You can check everything. You can manage with your incident, with incident name, with your severity, with the text, how to assign your incident and status. I have information that my incident is automatically resolved in attack disruption and classification. Because I conducting some security testing, I finish with my managed incident and I resolve successfully this incident. But most important, how we stop lateral movement in automatic way with the forensic investigation, completing, disable account. What is next steps? Okay, you can reset password for this device. You can disable this device, and of course, the first steps is to isolate on the rest of the network because you have a ransomware activity here. That is actually crucial in forensic investigation to find the best performance. And I'm connected with my indicator of compromise. I am connected with my vulnerability management database. I can create summary from my incident reporting here, and that is very cool. And when I click here in Action Center, I can go in history, and in history I can see all the process of my attack description. Action type is stops. I have file in my quarantine. I can contain users, disable users, file quarantine action, and etc. That is actually very important part in order to stop lateral movement activity. I have potential user enumeration from my domain controller, but artificial intelligence in forensic investigation automatically resolve this activity in containment phase and stop attack. That is very important. Actually, when we're talking about of this part, okay, I have information of Jonathan Hacken. I'm very close to finish. I previously explained here just-in-time access from my virtual machine. I conduct with my specific port, and file integrity monitoring with my Linux and Windows machine. I add, modify, and remove with the point of view registry. File integrity monitoring is the best practice comparison method to use to detect suspicious modification in the registry and change to be indicated in attack. And we are using a different attack tool like Hawk, like security assessment, PowerShell model for our incident investigation. And actually, Exchange Line Management PowerShell model is also amazing. CA, Sparrow tools, and everything. For example, that is example. When we're talking about Office 365 forensic tool, that is procedure. You can look in sign-out data. You can use PowerShell to retrieve Microsoft Enter ID. And you can use different, for example, unified audit tool to deep dive in particular users on indicator when you're extracting PowerShell. You can use an extractor, you can use forensic data in the Microsoft incident response, but Azure Data Explorer is not recommended Azure for ad hoc forensic. That is very important. With the point of view action, I have additional 5 minutes, I promise. Active Directory hardening is very important. You should review your tier model, 0. You can found a way how to restrict service account from interactive loggings. You can use the different method for service account with the point of view patching. You can implement the standard comprehensive patching strategy or closed all system. You can use Intune, Microsoft Intune, you can use SCCM for that purpose or some third-party product. But enroll of your 100% of device is very important to be all your device enroll in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Cybersecurity hygiene is very, very important with the point of view how to enable conditional device, exploit guard, a lot of password-less techniques in that way, and using firewall to block incoming connection or some network security groups. I previously mentioned the point of view identity, how we deal in using protection from inventory disable SMB protocol, inventory to disable NTLM version 1, and some TLS like 1.0 or 1.1. That is inventory to discontinue to use, but you can use GPO and after that for some, for example, computer account in order to resolve this. The strong authentication with multi-factor authentication, that is a mandatory option when you're logging for your Azure portal, your admin or Intune portal, that is a mandatory from 15th September to work and stroke authentication with credential key is very, very important. And the recommendation for access, you can different use, but many important part is how to plan for the deployment for a privileged admin workstation, monitor your TU0 account and audit usage regularly. You can perform a regular audit for any external vendor management for an activity. Using VPN clients that is legitimate monitoring MFI is also required, but actually you can different techniques using for activity, defender for identity. I mentioned it before, inventory your application, enable upload in audit mode for inventory application, whitelist approve application, blacklist from your unauthorized application. With fine tune your comprehensive incident plan, including host isolation, including out-of-band communication, quick implementation of different change, and you can using entity behavior analytics in combination with Defender XDR, Sentinel, and Security Copilot I showed you before. For your anti-phishing policy, for example, for Defender for Office. And because SMB is a remote file system that is required protection from attacker when Windows computer may be tricked into contacting some malicious server. And impact of change is blocking connectivity from SMB, prevent various application services from functioning, of course, and that is very, very important to know in the practice. Enter ID protection, I mentioned before, but you can use sign-in risk, user risk policy in combination with your conditional access policy in order to protect on-premise deployment of Enter ID password protection. Use some global and custom bin password list that are stored in Enter ID, and this check are performed during the password change and everything. Password reset against on-premise Active Directory domain service for your domain controller, it is very important. And finally, that is what I mentioned, Enter ID identity protection in order to protect for leaking credential, impossible, for example, transfer from a typical location, signing from infected devices, from anonymous IP address, suspicious activity, unfamiliar location. That is also part, and when you're going in identity protection, risk detection, you can see, but properly using this type of policy with combination conditional access policy and Azure policy, that is actually win-win situation. That is all from my side, and we can discuss if you have any question during this session or after that.
Okay, so thank you so much. A really great session here. I'm not sure here if we have any comments from our audience.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Oros, for a great session. I was like taking notes and learning from the background. We do not have any questions, but I do have one. I mean, from the audience, we don't have any. They're very quiet today, and also maybe just learning from you, Oros. A lot of security topics or concepts to absorb, of course, but one question that came up to my mind that probably our audience is also interested to learn, to know is I really liked what you showed about how Microsoft Copilot for security can help with forensics as well. Do you have any idea, or can you share to us how any person or any Azure user or Copilot user can utilize or use it? Is it free? Does it cost something?
Yes, you have some cost for your actually $5 per hour. And then you have a security consumption unit, but I actually, when I'm talking about here but you don't have some time Yes, that is very important here. For example, you can analyze this file, very sophisticated attack using using Security Copilot in Microsoft Defender EDR to quickly identify malicious and suspicious file. And after that, you have overview. Finalizes usually contain overview of contains of an assessment of the file and detailed section including string API calls and relevant certificate for that purpose. But you can use in summary to get device insecurity posture, vulnerable software information, and Copilot. When you click, you can got all device summary report regarding what is vulnerable and with the point of view recommendation and everything in that way. Copilot help you in three stage in order to summarize report, in order to have some reverse technique of engineering with the forensic investigation, and finally to connect some indicator of compromise to found and connect it with timeline activity and everything. And your work many fast and you have saved the time investigation of your security incident. And that is how we understand the Security Copilot in order to help. GPT is something different for the user communication, but Security Copilot is dedicated for your incident investigation, threat hunting activity. I can create a custom query language with my query, and after that, my automatization process of investigation incident is much better.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I know it's a very new service, and I believe pretty well that it works great with Microsoft Defender for Cloud for Azure. So thank you so much. I don't have any questions. And how about you, Håkan? I know we have a fika also reserved for after session. Do you have anything that you want to share open to public?
No, I think we can take it in the fika session.
Yes. All right. That's good. So thank you so much, Oros, for the great session and for sharing your knowledge with us. We appreciate it. And also for our audience that joined us along the way in the past hour. It's weekend. It's like lunchtime, but you learned with us. So we appreciate it. And
Yes.
if you're someone that has more questions to ask to Oros or to just want to connect to me and Håkan, feel free to join us on our after session fika. You can scan the QR code. It's a private Zoom meeting between the community and the speaker. So feel free to join us. You're welcome anytime. And I will be sharing the bit.ly link. It's actually this one. So it's just bit.ly Azure Sweden fika dash the date of today in that format. So yes. Anything else from your side, Oros? Where can our community can reach out to you for more information or learn more
Yes,
about what you do?
please follow me on LinkedIn and my actually I also have here I share with you a very interesting blog in regarding cloud investigation in Microsoft Azure. I have my YouTube channel, and
Okay.
I have my meetup. Serbian meetup, like yours meetup, and I'm looking forward in the next challenge to be Jonak and Hakan guest in Serbia group and discuss many different topics.
Yes. We do have Håkan and I plan to October to be the cloud security month. So we're very glad that you could share that cloud security is very important. So you're definitely welcome to come back again. Bear with us about the queue, but
Yes.
we're thankful to have you, and you finally got a session with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your invitation and this session and discussion about very interesting topics, and I'm looking forward with you, both of us, in new session and challenge and discussion on different topics regarding security and other topic in Microsoft Azure, and it is definitely a plan for the near future. And have a nice weekend for all of participants and for today.
Yes, and you're joining us for the after session, Fika, right? In case someone joins for any question, I sent the bit.ly link to you in the private chat.
Yes, of course.
All right, Håkan. Anything else
Yes.
before we say goodbye?
Now I just wish everyone a happy weekend.
Yes.
Happy weekend to all of us, and stay to be more proactive with the point of view how we protect from any sophisticated attack. And I am sure that this session helped many of participants to find
Yes.
the best way to protect from different type of attack. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. This session is recorded, so feel free to reshare it to your colleagues and friends also that might find this session of Auras helpful. So see you again soon. And I think Håkan and I, we're going to have, by the end of this month, we do have a session, like a special edition session for Microsoft Learn, where we will be sharing about how you can prepare for AI 900 or an AI certification. So it's a special edition between me and Håkan as Microsoft certified trainers. So the event is on our meetup. We can share it later on, but it's there. So feel free to join because we will be giving away 50% vouchers for those who wants to, get or try to get certified in AI. So join us, and Oris, feel free to share it to your colleagues and friends if you have any
Yes.
that might be interested.
My pleasure.
Okay, time to say goodbye and have a great weekend, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.